What's up everybody? So today I'm going to finally make the video about trend lines. It's something I've been talking about in my streams. It's something I've seen a lot of misguidance on in chats, and just different opinions and everything. Again, if you're in a chat room, guys, you have to understand what trader are you talking to, how long have they been trading, and it's important to know you don't know what you don't know. But another video for another time. So good old-fashioned natural gas. You guys should know this one. A lot of people that follow me, at least, are in natural gas. They've traded natural gas. They know something about natural gas. You can see very clear trend line, and yes, so trend lines change. Some people just really don't like trend lines. Those people probably don't know how to do it properly. You can draw a bunch of lines on a chart. Doesn't mean anything. At all. What you need to find are what the masses are playing. The people that can draw trend lines correctly. A lot of people draw trend lines and they take those plays. Again, this whole system, it's a buyers and sellers market. More buyers raise it up, more sellers raise it down. What is the public doing? And because these are so easy to draw and people trade them, there's a lot of sellers. And I personally like to draw it on the candle bodies. And so let's just erase this one. I'm going to show you guys how to actually draw it. If you're going to start looking for a trend, start looking for 2 points. And I'm taking the trade on the third one, more than likely. You don't really have anything. The 2 points at that point is just speculative. Let's say, this one right here. Here's your top. Here's your next top. There's really nothing there. We haven't touched that in a long time. And do I think we will down here? No, someone's going to draw it, but I don't know if that's going to be the best trend to play. Someone's going to call this out, I know. And you might even see a small bounce from somebody drawing that if natural gas shoots up. So that might be a possible trend. I just don't like it because we haven't even tested it in so long. Again, this works on any time frame, and your trades should reflect your time frame. So if you're looking at this, hang on, let's zoom in. Let's say all this hasn't happened. You draw that, nothing there. All right, and then so you draw this. Now with candle bodies, so this in and out like that. That is just more popularly what I would call a fake out. It came up, but it came right back down. So nothing held. There was no retest. And when I'm drawing trend lines, what I like to do once the trend line breaks is see that retest. So when it comes back up, pushes through it, it comes back. I want to see it bounce, but if it just comes right through, I'm calling that a fake out. And a lot of people do get faked out on that. So I'd grab it from this next point right here. So again, I would look at it here, with the possible fake out right here, and this trend line might actually be in play. And this would be my play right here. Once that candle closed right here, I'm probably taking a short position on this next one that we're going to sell off. And that gives me enough room right here that I can move my stop loss into the green. And you're taking these plays right here. Again, I'm waiting for the candle to close. I really want to see where it's at. I don't want to just blow right through it. Because again, we've only established 2 points, and that's an iffy one because of this right here. So, kind of, not the best one. And that's kind of more just, again, you're really feeling stuff out on this one. This is not a great example, but that's how you would typically play it. You're right here. All right, we know that's not it, but it could be. Here's our second confirmation, or here's our 2 points, 1 and 2. Here's a candle close right here. Let's go all the way back. So as they close, so here, I see this indecisive candle. I see this sell off. I'm thinking maybe this trend line's in play. Let's draw it. We sell off. We get away from it. And then we come back up. We come back up and we close right here. Then I'm probably taking a position right here to see if we're going to hold that. And it's a short position because I'm going to try to play this trend line. We are below it. We are trending down. Here's your short. I probably did actually take that trade. I didn't draw a trend line, but I just probably took that trade knowing me. and then so we have a while. Once we kind of go sideways, you can really put your stop loss in the green right here, because we pushed up close here, sold off. That's where I would have played it. I'd have moved my stop right to here, and I would have been good for a while. Let's see, we can kind of call that. Okay, here's your next part. We kind of just come close. This is a 4-hour time frame. So I'd still be in it because I'd be in it right here. At this point, I might have even added to my position if I didn't close it out and write it back. Again, ignoring the time frame, just watching the candles here is the more important part. Where do we really become just irrelevant? Okay, and you want to keep these points just on point. It is very easy to shift a trend line to what you want to believe, and then it's just not correct. Because it looks like maybe a lot of people had this trend line, and it was in play. Once it started getting indecisive fear, we can see this push up here, rejected, sold off, but we pushed right through it. Here was like a retest, and we shot up. I think we can find better examples of that. But yeah, if this trend line was in play right here, this would be a great example. Ignoring all this, we're gonna call that off. I don't know why it's not letting me move this. So right here, we come down, we break through it, we come back down, we retest it from the top side, and then it shot up, so that could have been a possible play right there. If you were playing this trend line's pretty choppy. I like it to be a little bit more clear than this. Personally, I still play all my zones, but I will draw these trend lines and keep an eye on it. So this choppy business to me, I'm drawing these trend lines as a quick visual. If you're taking these plays, you probably want it to be pretty clear and just not a lot of breaks, because you just don't. There's just not that much to it. If it breaks through every time but comes back down, your trend line's probably in the wrong spot. So you can see we broke out here, came back, tested it, and shot up. We eventually did just sell right back off, but your play would have been down here. You would have taken that play on that retest. So again, the reason I'm using natural gas is because there was a great example. So you're going to draw another one. Was it right here? Yeah. And how you're going to draw this, you're going to take this high. This was the high here. Here's your next point. You have point A, point B. Here's your 2 points of maybe there's a trend in play. Let's see how it acts. So we sell off here. This doesn't matter. This has already been formed. Okay, you're right here right now. All you have is this point and this point, and you're looking at the chart thinking there could be a trend. Let's see. So we sell off, we consolidate, we come back up. Here's that's a different trend line I drew just for a different analysis, but you're right here again. This is where that play gets taken. If you think this trend is going to be a play, you think that's the big move, you're going to short it right here because we're coming up on that trend line right there. Ignore these zones. That's a whole different other pattern. So you take the short right here, and it sells right off. And it continues to sell off. It keeps going. You did awesome. I think I spent most of my time fighting this trend. But here we are again, coming up to it, and we sell off again. There was your next play. So you can see how effective these can be. Now, this is going to be an upcoming stream. Today is, if you want to check the stream later, today's February 9th. Markets are going to open tomorrow, so we're going to see if this is a breakthrough, and right now, or a breakout. So you had your 2 points here, you would have shorted it right here, and you would have been just fine. This shorter term trend right here, here was your 2 points, and every time it hit that on a smaller time frame, it can be very effective, but again, your trades need to reflect it. This was an hourly trend. We hit it, bounced again. Each time hitting that trend, you had a trade. That's just on a shorter time frame. So we'll need to see right now, this trend line has been in play from up here. Here's all your connecting points right here, and we hit again right here. Every time it hit it, it sold off, keeping that trend still valid. Right here, that trend is no longer valid. Things change. Nothing stays there forever. At this point, I wouldn't even call that a fake out. We closed above it. We got another candle above it. That trend is gone. That's it. If this happens, let's say you're playing this trend line. Here's your short. This candle would have closed you out. That's it. If you waited for this candle to close, and that was it. Let's say you got in here. We're gonna call this a ticker. This is a $2 ticker. You got in at $2.64. It closes up here. You're gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. We came up to here. We closed right here. If that was gonna be a fake out, it could not go any higher than that wick right there. And you can see in that candle we did, and we closed at that wick. So I'd have stopped out. I'd have stopped out right there, and then that would be it. That would have been my play. I would have entered here, and where would I have taken this? Let's get to more real time. $15 minutes. If I still would have entered here, assuming we're going to just come down like we did all the other times, I'm entering still right here, $2.64. We push up. Yeah, that next candle, that candle right there, if I was going to give it any benefit of the doubt, if I didn't already cut it, that top of the wick would have been my stop loss. Again, this is not my particular style. I'm not really trading this way, because if the trend is clear like it has been on these higher time frames, anything above that line, the trend is broken. So, and this one just clearly broke. I'm probably just talking circles right now, so sorry about that. I would have shorted it here, and it just moved up. If I didn't cut it here, and I waited for that candle to close, that would have been my stop right here. I'm like, all right, next candle, we're down here. Maybe things are looking good. I probably would have managed this one live. Once I saw this wick close and we pushed up here, realistically, I probably would have closed it right here. At that point, that was the breakout, pullback, retest, and we're coming up. But if I were just to set it and forget it, my stop loss would be right here, because once it broke that, this candle right here would have tagged me out. At that point, that's a break. The trend is just no longer valid for you, and to just get out. What you shouldn't do is this. Oh, I drew it on a 4-hour time frame. I see this did that, and then we do a little magic here. And all of a sudden, the trend looks a lot better in your eyes. What you want to do is get away from that. If you draw your trend line and keep it there, it's something I've talked about in my streams that's brought up a lot of question, because I keep my trend lines there. It's a very Forex thing to do, but the reason I do that is because I wait for the retest. I wait until that trend line is no longer valid. I'll keep that trend there, and we can test from the bottom and top side all day long. I'm just a very sideways trader. Until that trend is just, we don't interact with it anymore, I keep it up there. But once that trend breaks, we're no longer on that side. You don't need to be shorting. If we're on the underside of that trend, shorting it every time it hits it. If we're on the top side, if that trend line was down here, you're buying it every time it hits it. So I did grab some people in the chat right here. Great example. You would have waited. You would have had here and here, and you'd have had these 2 points. Remember, this is all you see at that time. So you're thinking there's a possible trend line here. You're going to connect these 2 points, extend this line out, and then just see what happens. I'm going off the candle bodies right here. We push up, we come back down. You're going to take a position here. We bounce up. At this point, it's important to see we're not making higher highs. That bounce, there's just no follow through there. But we are playing right here pretty nicely. We're still validating. Anytime it comes back down, it pushes right back up. We shoot up. You did good. It comes back down. We're bouncing here again, but we're to start riding it. That's kind of my clue that this might not be too valid anymore. As long as we're riding it, it is still valid. Here's your break right here, and we never actually came back up to retest it. But we just might, and that's why I keep my trend lines here, because if I'm playing this is AT&T. If I'm thinking I'm bullish on this, I grabbed it down here for whatever reason. I was playing the horizontal play. It comes up to here. That's probably where I'm going to think about locking in profits, because I don't want that to finally be my retest on a higher time frame and then come right back down. I think AMD was my last example. I thought I drew one. I think it was on the 4 hour on that one. So again, here are your points, candle bodies right here, and then also right here. That's all you see. Remember, we don't have all this other stuff. So there's your trend line. Let's extend that line out, because at that point, these are the 2 bottom points. You're looking for something that's going to have some play in it. A lot of people are grabbing these bottom points. And then here is your buy. The second it hits there, we shoot right out of it. Comes back down again. We bounce right off of it. We come through, we close above it. That wick actually broke it, and then the next candle just breaks through. Here's the break, here's the retest, here's that short position. We retested this from the bottom side, and that's how that whole thing plays out. So you're watching AMD, you have this, it's gone crazy, it's shooting up, it's coming down. Where is it going to stop? And you have your trend line drawn. Is there going to be a play here? It is oversold. It's showing up on indicators. It hits that. Looks like we gapped down, bounced up. That would have been your play right there on that trend line. Everything's looking good. We shoot up. We start to come back. And we're hanging out. For whatever reason, you're out of the trade. We come back. You're in it again. We shoot up again. Don't ignore these warning signs just as a trader. This is telling you to get out. But the follow through just wasn't there. These bounces are getting smaller. This wick right here should have had you nervous. Maybe you got in because you're playing this trend line, so you got in right here. That wick was a candle body when you got in, but it bounced up and it closed right here. Probably would have been my cue to get out. So we broke out. You stopped out, whatever. On to the next trade, unless you're taking that short position right here. There's the breakout. There's the retest. There's the candle wick to confirm it. Wicks are a sign of rejection. We tried to push up, but we came right back down. We even did it again, and now we're really starting to see that sell off. We're riding that trend line. We just haven't broken through it, and it sells off. So that would have been your short position right there, and then it really sells off. So that, just in a nutshell, is just how I would personally draw these trend lines and play them. Find these 2 points and just extend that line out. It's not the trade that I personally take 100% of the time, but I do keep an eye on them. But once it's just my main fact here, I guess. Once you have this line drawn, don't change it. Nothing's perfect. This candle came down a little bit, it gapped down a little bit below, but it shot right back up. I'm not over here moving it down like that. That is just moving it into something that looks good to my eyes, but that's not what the public is doing. And then had I just made that simple move, I think we're back in here and we just confirmed it on the top side, but we didn't go anywhere. We shorted it. So see how that one simple change? We keep it on the candle bodies here. Don't move it because of this. We grabbed it right here again. And then boom, we're rejecting it from the bottom side. You shift it just a little bit to make it look good because you want all your candle bodies on the top side of this. You think we broke down, we came back in, almost like a fake out. Now we're on top of it. You're in a long position thinking it's still going up, and it just blasts down and just takes your position with it. You just took, even if you had risk management, you just took a meaningless loss because you adjusted your trend line. If it's in play, keep it in play. Once it's broken, delete it. Draw a different line. Go somewhere else. You don't need to have it on there. Again, I keep it there until it's broken. And I think that's what everybody else should do if you're going to draw trend lines. Hopefully I've been able to kind of clear things up for you on how to play them. Find your 2 points, whether it's the top side or the bottom side. It is going to be your 2 highest points. It is going to be your 2 lowest points. And that's where you're going to connect them. 2 parallel trend lines, that's just a channel up, and you can play those until those get broken. So hopefully I cleared that up. Hopefully when you're watching my streams, you guys have a better idea of what I'm talking about when I'm talking about a trend line break and retest, because in many patterns there's a trend line involved, whether it be a channel or a triangle. Again, there's a lot of them, all those involving a trend line and a break and a retest of some kind. So if you'd like me to see you guys, please give me a thumbs up. If it made sense, hopefully let me know in the comments down below, because I know I kind of just talked in circles. I'm kind of iffy on this video. So let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.